Welcome, Divergence. This is episode 2 of Divergent, Reconstructing Reality from Truth. My guest today is, he's just like me, neurodivergent, which is why we've got him on the show here today, folks. That's why the show's called Divergent. People that think differently, solve differently, and make the world a better place because they've got superpowers and they know how to use them. My guest today is Justin Breen. His brilliance is in connecting visionaries to the world. And he's here on the show today because he's got stuff to share and all sorts of stuff to share and rabbit holes we're going to go down. So I want to start, Justin, by welcoming you to the show. And I want to dive into the rabbit hole of what you're doing in the world of AI and Corvia. What you're doing in that space and AI and consciousness right now is huge. Can you share a little bit more?
Oh, that's a good, one of my great friends, Dr. Carlos Warder. He's like the alchemist, but real. He's in his 70s, and one of his favorite quotes is, "Truth is the consciousness of bliss. Truth is the consciousness of bliss." And then I have no background in AI and or music, like none, but have recently launched 2 music companies that are AI based. And then the first one, which I can talk more about publicly, is Corvia.ai, Corvia.ai. And then core, COR, means heart, and via means path. So it's teaching people, think of it as an educational platform. It's teaching people how to make music through AI. And you can make these songs very quickly. And it's the fastest track into your own heart and soul. It's fascinating.
I absolutely love that, because that's what all consciousness is about. It's about connecting that, realizing that we're not our minds, we're not our bodies, we're not what we think. We're much more than that. We're energetic beings connected to the field. You get that, we get that. Most of the world is just now starting to awaken to that. And the fact that you have been able to tap into that energetically to be able to connect people to the frequency of music into their consciousness, into their heart space, is amazing. Tell me more about how it works.
Well, Robert Johnson, he was a disciple of Carl Jung, and he did a lot of work on shadow behavior. And my favorite quote of Robert Johnson is, I'm paraphrasing this, but for a select few, there's a determination to seek liberation from social hypnosis. There's a determination to seek liberation from social hypnosis, social conditioning. And the world's been conditioned with labels and terms and all these things. And so for a select few, there's this ability to see through that, to step back and be an observer. And once you observe what's actually going on, then you create something out of it. Because observing things is fine. But to me, if you don't actually create something with what you've learned through those observations, then it's kind of pointless. And what Corvia.ai actually is using ChatGPT or a similar platform. And then the music creation platform is called Sunno.ai, Sunno, SUNO.ai. And it's using those or things like that to create music. I've done virtual sessions so far, but to timestamp this, next week I'm flying to California for a big group presentation for family office, 150 family office type folks, and then also doing a big virtual session for a London-based group that will have several hundred people from all over the world, and then also going to be speaking on stage in Chicago for an AI convention. So, and we just launched this, my partner Eric and I, we launched this 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago. So it will scale very quickly, because once people hear and feel these songs that they create with technology as a collaborator, you can't really describe it or explain it until you actually create it and then feel it within yourself. It's like you become your own artist into your own soul and heart very quickly.
Yeah, that resonates across the board. Anybody that's listened to music, that's on that journey of wanting to become the observer, the my language, right? The escaping the matrix conversation.
Yeah.
Music is one of the best and fastest ways to attune your brain to higher frequencies. And when you can use AI to reflect for yourself, to create, it's amazing. I don't know about you, Justin, but I use ChatGPT to help sort my thoughts before I want to communicate effectively as a neurodivergent. I mean, AI's, how is that? I mean, that's no different with what you're doing in music. You're learning, teaching people how to take the frequency of their mind and their consciousness, using AI for clarity so they can attune themselves to their own heart frequency. That is Nobel Peace Prize winning type work, in my opinion.
Oh, thanks. That's good. It's interesting. It's interesting that you say that, but the next book I have coming out, it's going through the editing process right now. It's called Epic Journey, and then I'm very grateful Dr. Deepak Chopra is doing the introduction for that. So that's good. But the first chapter, and again, it's going through editing right now, but the first chapter says, I don't really care what prizes or awards this wins. Like I just don't care about that stuff. However, when you do create something that gets mentioned as something, or you partner with somebody like Dr. Chopra, and then I'm very grateful. You mentioned like this is a Nobel Prize winning thing. Like it certainly has the potential for that because just from like a tactical mind, logical perspective, music actually predates spoken language. The first musical instrument currently that has been discovered dates back 60,000 years. It was a cave bear bone that had 4 holes drilled into it. So it was like a flute. It was found in a Neanderthal cave. And then if you do the research, the spoken language is 50,000 years ago. So 10,000 years before, according to what's currently been discovered, 10,000 years before spoken language, which is a long time. 10,000 years is a long time. There were musical instruments. So music, that's how people communicated was through music.
Frequency.
Perhaps 100% frequency. And again, AI is a great collaborator. Years before I even started using AI, I thought the best use of it would be to help yourself, self-care. Because if you can help heal yourself, you can actually help heal others.
Yes.
And then music is the fastest way of doing that I've currently discovered. So let's go.
I agree. It's so needed right now in the world, and so timely as well, given the state of the world. It's where we're really going to connect is in that heart space of me as the individual, you as the individual, all resonating in the same frequency. It's where we exist as a humanity, as a species, especially as we continue to evolve on our understanding of our own consciousness and our own beings. Which brings me to my next question, Justin. Talk to me about the FIT network. I know you've got this network of people that you bring people together for, and you connect the right people at the right time. The field provides. You see it. Tell me a little bit more about the FIT network.
Sure. Well, I grateful for that question. Talk is meaningless to me. Even though we're talking right now, I'd rather listen and then just do stuff. But since it's an interview, it'd be very bizarre if I didn't say anything. So I'll talk in this. Hey, Divergent. That's Divergent joke. But
I can read your mind if you'd like.
Yeah, thanks. Great. So I invest well over $100K a year, US dollars, to be in rooms, and was tired of being in rooms with mostly white men driven by ego. There's nothing right or wrong with that. I just got tired of it. I just got tired of it. And there's another, let me read this quote. I have a lot of quotes. Don Miguel Ruiz, he said, narcissism is fear wearing the costume of love. Narcissism is fear wearing the costume of love. And so I'm hyper sensitive, very very, very hypersensitive, feeling wise, to people that talk about really looking inward, but they're just trying to make more money outward, which, by the way, it's fine. It's fine. But like, to me, it's, you know, you have to do
me,
something.
I'm the same. For me, it's gross. For me,
it's very painful.
Inauthentic and it's gross.
It's very painful. And okay, so great, it's gross. So what are you going to do about it, right? So created room. My wife is I guess technically the COO. So my wife and her assistant really run the company. I just came up with the idea, and then they run it, and then our members run it. And then the investment is $15K US dollars a year currently. The reason why, because that I don't believe in excuses. I just don't. So that eliminates people who make excuses. But also, you know, I invest a lot of money to be in rooms. When it's too high, it attracts narcissists who are pretending to be visionaries, which I don't want to be. And then our room is extremely diverse, 40% women members. I think eventually it'll be 50%, if not more. 50% or not more. And then we have monthly virtual meetings where we have guest speakers and we talk about consciousness and then things like this. And then we have 2 big in-person events a year. And the next one is in Portland, Oregon in May.
Yeah, we're hoping to be able to join you on that and be there with you on that. It's we've met you, my wife is connected with your wife.
Oh, good. So by the way, what if one, that would be great. 2, we have a few husband and wife teams, and then or husband and wife, or like mom, son, and then it's if for that it's $20K for both people. So again, like,
fantastic. So there you go, folks. You double up and get the discount.
Yeah, some discount, but yeah, discount. but like, so there are 2 types of people, and my life is talking to the first type. There's the first type, like, 20K, well, that's a good investment. And then most of the world is like, what are you, like, they won't do something like that, which, by the way, again, totally fine. I just chose to create my own world with the first type of person that actually understands what we're talking about. So that would be great if you joined it. That's why we created it. That's
absolutely. Justin, I know you've got a lot of things going on, and you create things, and as a visionary, you open up doorways, you see the portholes, you see what's possible, and you connect the people that make it happen. That's how you've been able to, start 2 music businesses, and you don't do music, you don't do AI, right? But you are the visionary, and you're like, it's the Henry Ford model, right? He didn't have the high school degree. He just knew how that if I do this and I put the right people in place, this happens.
Yes.
And that to me is what true American entrepreneurship was meant to be. Because when the people that came over here to the United States migrated over here, right? They were the divergents. They had broken out of the societal mode that of Europe to come over here and create something new. Benjamin Franklin had a 4th grade education,
yes,
and started the American Philosophical Society that still stands today, whose sole purpose is ensuring that divergent thought never dies. And I know people aren't aware of that, which is why I bring it up, because it needs to be known that leaders like you, visionaries like you, are the ones that shape the future.
Thank you. That's a very nice thing to say. Thank you means acknowledging the other person's humanity. So thank you for saying that. So it's interesting that you said that there's 2 things from a personal perspective, and then someone I know who I think you'll appreciate this story. So I'm very grateful. Ben DuPont of the DuPont family, he just endorsed the Epic Journey book, which is very kind. His middle name is Franklin, so he's Benjamin Franklin DuPont. And then I met with him a couple months ago at the DuPont Country Club. And then he was telling us the story about his family. I believe the original DuPont who came to America was Pierre DuPont. I believe. I believe
you're correct.
Okay. So the reason why Pierre DuPont came over here, I believe he was a Huguenot, and then he was going to get murdered. He was going to get murdered. Okay, good. So all right, good. Thanks for confirming. Right, good. Okay, so and then he knew one person. Do you know the one person he knew in America? Why he came here? Okay.
Don't
His
know.
name was Thomas Jefferson. So he came here.
Yes.
Yay! He came here. He knew one person, a good person. No, but that's why he can. And then he escaped being murdered. Okay, so that's one. From a personal perspective, my father was 61 when I was born. 61. My mom was 27. But we'll talk about my father in this aspect because I know more about my father's history, father's side's history. So he was 61 when I was born. He was born in 1916. His parents, I'm named after his mom. And they, Nathan and Ida, they escaped the pogroms. They would have been murdered, and the pogroms in Russia or Ukraine or wherever that, I guess what Ukraine is now, but Russia. But they escaped that and then came here with absolutely nothing. I mean, nothing. And then they had four sons. All four sons, and then all four served heroically in combat in World War II. My father was a World War II hero. All four of the sons survived. There were numerous national and international articles written about all of them. I just got an email 2 days ago from someone who I'm actually talking to him tomorrow, but his assistant emailed me. They're doing a documentary on the Battle of the Hurtgen Forest. Which is one of the deadliest battles toward the end of World War II. My father was a hero in that. So, potentially, yeah, I'm not like that's come out of nowhere. And then that's why I don't have like normal conversations. I can't.
Yeah, no, that's keep flowing, brother.
Oh yeah, good. So and then my father kept a diary of his experiences. I found it after he died, Battle of the Hurtgen Forest, and then I followed his diary to France. Last year, which is what Epic Journey is about. I just followed his war diary completely on intuition to this small town in France called Nancy, Nancy, and then kind of discovered the meaning to life in that. But his diary, think of the worst. I mean, if you think about the movie Fury with Brad Pitt or even like D-Day type thing, it's that horrific. And he was one of the very few who survived in his unit. But and then, so here I am. And then, and then real quick, then my parents met after a drunk driver hit my father in his late 50s. And then the drunk driver was killed. My dad broke every bone in his body and survived. He woke up, thought he was dead, and my mom was an angel, but my mom was his nurse. So here we are. Yay.
Very Hemingway.
Yeah, I guess. Right. Exactly.
I mean, I see things in arcs of storylines and how I'm familiar. Yeah. That's how I identify and see things. It's in the humanity of stuff. And brilliant story. Thank you so much for sharing that. That shows folks, this is why I'm doing this show here, because the brilliance of divergent thought and what Justin is creating, and not only what he's creating, but the reason why he's creating it to help humanity is the true nature of entrepreneurship. It's why you should be in business. It's why if you go to your job and you don't have purpose in your job, you feel dead, right? It's the time to make the donuts, that old Winchell's commercial, right? You have to be inspired in what Justin is bringing to the world with his partner, Eric. By the way, I spoke to Eric and I vibed with him, and woo, I just channeled.
He blew his mind. He said,
I need to probably circle back around. And matter of fact, I'm in the midst of crafting up a follow-up email because I got a lot of clarity from our conversation and some overlaps. So I'm super excited from it. But folks, what they're doing with all of their projects is lighting the world up and inspiring people and giving you the tools that you need to inspire yourself, because it's not ever about an external journey. It's always about the internal journey. And when we can meet in that heart space that Corvia is doing, that is magic. Justin, what else you got going on? What do you want to leave our audience with? How can we best serve the frequency in which you are on mission to bring to the world?
Oh, well, thanks, Steve. This is a good interview. The website for the mastermind is theepicfit.com, theepicfit.com, and then Corvia.ai, Corvia.ai. But I mean, it's a simple purpose, connecting visionaries to serve humanity, and then it's just creating It's creating things that are based on that purpose, and then creating things is great, but then it's getting out of the way and letting people who actually know what they're doing to actually run the thing. I can't say much about the second music company, other than my partner for that is a big time player in the actual music industry.
Nice.
That's, I mean, he's a very, very big deal in that. And then he knows what to do in the music industry. So
yep. You get the
I don't.
right people in the right place.
Find right people in the right place. And then I guess what I can say is like I'll be pretty soon like an official registered lyricist, which is kind of funny because like I just with these songs I just started writing poems. Started writing poems a couple months ago out of pure. This is actually important, out of pure unconditional love. That's kind of what I learned more than anything last year was unconditional love. And then someone's like, oh, you should do some hit songs. I'm like, okay. So I started writing song lyrics. And then I was at a Thanksgiving party with humans, and we were talking about youth soccer and other human things. I got really bored. So I'm like, oh, is there a platform where I can turn these lyrics into actual music? And then I'm like, I found Sunno.ai or Sunno.ai. And then plug that in. 5 minutes later, wow, here's this song. And I started crying because I'm like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever heard. And that was November 23rd. And now there's 2 music companies. So it's pretty funny. And then it'll only, once people actually hear these songs, it's just, you can hear the soul in it. You can feel it. So it's very exciting to do that.
I'm excited. I'm excited for it. And Justin, thank you so much for being here. Folks, I don't have a sign off yet because Justin's my first guest. So I'm going to leave it at this. Stay divergent, stay curious, connect your heart, open your heart space. Don't be afraid to let the empathy flow. It's what makes us human, and it is by far your greatest superpower. Till next time, love harder, love more. Bye-bye.
That was good. That's